As we round out this week in our study of the book of Job, we're in chapter 16. Eliphaz has had his second opportunity to comfort Job. He is a miserable comforter, and Job doesn't mind saying that. Matter of fact, in 16 verse 2, he says, "Sorry comforters are you all." So he is not benefiting from these men. He's not appreciating their comfort, and you wouldn't either, because we are looking at a case of how not to do it. If you want to know how not to comfort other people and how to encourage them in their struggles of life, then just read these dialogues going back and forth. These are truly miserable comforters. They are sorry comforters, as Job calls them out. In verse 3, he says, "Is there no limit to windy words?" You know, that's exactly what they accused Job of. Earlier, I think it was Zophar accused him of being a windbag. Job now returns the favor. Guess what, you guys? You're windbags too. You're just talking nonsense. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't mind saying it anyway, even though you don't know what you're talking about. That is just the essence of a windbag, isn't it? Someone who has no knowledge or wisdom, but doesn't mind sharing their ignorance. So Job is not pleased, and we understand why he's not pleased. Of course, they're not pleased with Job either. And we go down to verse 9. Job now turns back to God. And he is saying to the Lord, "Lord, I want to have a word with you. I want to want to know why I am your target." Verse 9, he says, "His anger has torn me and hunted me down. He has gnashed me with his teeth. My adversary glares at me. God has turned on him," he says. God has made him an enemy. In verse 12, he says, "I was at ease, but he shattered me. And he grasped me by the neck and shaken me to pieces. He has also set me up as his target." So he is very displeased right now with what God is doing in his life. He believes that God, for no good reason whatsoever, he was at ease. He wasn't doing anything wrong. He was living a decent life, and a good life, as we saw in chapter 1 and 2. And God has just grabbed him like a rat terrier that would grab a rat and shake it. And once again, he's made him his target. This is at least the second time he's used that metaphor. God is shooting his arrows, his poison arrows at him. He is God's target. That's how he's viewing God. He says in verse 21, "Oh, that a man might plead with God as a man with his neighbor." He again wants to go to court with God, plead with him, sit down and have a discussion with God himself. If he could do that, he's quite convinced he could show God that God somehow has made a mistake here. That seems to be what he's after. In 17:1, "My spirit is broken. My days are extinguished. The grave is ready for me." As it is, since he can't sit down and have a dialogue with God, and since he doesn't see his sin, and since he is going through all this misery, he says his spirit is broken. I said a couple days ago that chapter 14 was a low mark in the life of Job. Maybe he's even lower now in chapter 17. His spirit is broken. And God has made him a laughing stock in verse 6, but he's made me a byword to the people. I am one of those whom men spit. He's humiliated. He's a byword. He's a joke. Poor Job. He's feeling pretty bad, and we understand why. In verse 15 and 16, once again, he ends this dialogue with absolutely no hope. He says, "Where now is my hope, and who regards my hope? I will go down with me. Will it go down with me to Sheol? Will we together go down into the dust?" There is no hope, and what little hope he might have is going to go down with him into the grave. He's going to die with whatever hope he has. Right now, he has no hope whatsoever. So we leave Job this week, once again, really in the dumps. He is hopeless. He is broken. He has no answers. His friends are giving him nothing that can be helpful at all. And so we hate to leave him here, because we know that something better is coming. We also know that we don't want to leave a person in such despair. But we'll leave it this week by saying this: when you and I have opportunities to comfort others and strengthen others, don't do what the friends did. Use the wisdom of Scripture to help them. And if you ever are in a situation of the misery of Job, don't respond the way Job is responding. God is going to show him his error soon, and Job will be a changed man. So we'll leave him there. We'll pick him up in chapter 18 next week. I hope you can join us there. You have a wonderful day in the Lord.